Hey everyone, and welcome to Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. I am your hostess with the absolute mostest. I am Lolita E. Walker. And for all of you all that I have yet to meet, hey y'all, hey. For all of you all that I have met, I want to say, come on inside of the room. Let's gather around my kitchen table because this episode right here, episode number 58 on Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations, the podcast. You guys, I don't even know if you're ready. I don't know if you're ready because I have invited Kim Walsh Phillips. Now, before I tell you all about her, in case you have been under a rock somewhere, I want to let you know about Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. Coaching is where I leave you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking. No pressure, take what you need, leave what you don't. This is all about you sitting at the kitchen table and us just leaving a couple nuggets right there on the table. We all need something. Cocktails is not so much about what you're sipping on, but it's more about celebrating the greatness of who you are when you show up right here. Okay. So, welcome. And then there are those juicy conversations. Yes, the ones we are going to have with you today. We are live on Facebook in my private Facebook group, Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. We are live on LinkedIn and we are live on YouTube. So wherever you are, go ahead and leave some messages right there in the comments because we are ready. Not only am I ready, but I know I didn't bring her up yet, but Kim Walsh Phillips is here. And what we are talking about today is really helping you to become like this awesome professional, right? This power professional. So you might say, Lolita, I'm already a professional. Absolutely, and so am I. But that is why we are here to gain all of these nuggets. And now we're talking about selling and marketing. You might say, I don't have my own business, Lolita. Okay. But now we're talking about leveling you up just a little bit more because you market yourself every single day. How are you doing that? Your proprietary information is what makes you you. There is somebody in the world who is waiting on you. So today, we are talking with Kim Walsh Phillips. And let me just go ahead and give you guys a little something about Kim. Kim is the founder of Powerful Professionals. You see how I did that? Yes, we are talking to power professionals today. If you do not consider yourself one, don't worry. You will by the end of this. She is a business coaching and educational like phenomenon. You will see. She went, are you ready? From 32 clients, okay? 32 clients to over 11,000 in less than a year. She has so many different accolades. But guess what, you guys? Y'all know where I met her? On a social app. Mm-hmm. I heard her voice first, and I'm like, Now this woman sounds like a little bit of power. Let me listen in, because I have a soft spot for women who come confident, right? So then I'm listening a little bit more, and she's dropping all of these gems, and she's not even caring about like the details of it. She says, "Listen, I've already been through it, and I want you to be able to go through it without all of the extra. I want to give you the nuggets right here, right there, so that you can show up." And what do I always say? Clarity plus confidence equals commitment. So I want to welcome each of you guys once again to Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations with Lolita E. Walker. Hey, from St. Kitts. We cannot see your name, so drop your name in there and let's get this juicy conversation going. Hey, Kim Walsh Phillips.
Hey, Lolita. So great to see you today and to be here with you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you as well. We have our friends from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and on the replay. Oh my goodness, St. Kitts is in the house. Hey, Miss Hattie, how are you? Woo! So, listen, before we even get into the juiciness of what people can plug away today, how they can keep in contact with you, because I know you're going to leave some amazingness. Let's just take a step back on who is Kim Walsh Phillips. So, the way we like to do it around here is what is a strength that you have? Just think about it and introduce yourself by way of that strength.
My strength is the knowledge that I can do all things through God who strengthens me. And so, in anything, any goal that I have in my life, my response to that goal is always, how can I? It is never, why can't I? Or why haven't I? Or why is this hard? It's always, how can I make this easy? How
Mm-hmm.
can I make this easy? So that's immediate response, because I think, Lolita, there's been this misinformation that we've gotten as entrepreneurs like the best entrepreneurs believe that they can do hard things, right? We love to like stand upon the rock that says, I can do hard things, but we're really doing ourselves a disservice if instead we operate under the belief that I can make all things easy and I can do easy things with joy to accomplish my goals, and everything becomes doable and so much more fun.
Oh my gosh, I got this thing. That's what I heard as you were talking. I got this thing. And so often, I have this quote, one of my powerful affirmations that I have in my 40 deck card of affirmations, and it says, I am the greatness that others have yet to see. And the thing is that sometimes the other is us. Sometimes we doubt ourselves so much that we're not even showing up in all of it. So today, if folks leave with nothing more, I want you to leave knowing that you are power, right? Today, we're talking about how do you become this power professional through talking about yourself, not feeling bad about talking about your strengths, about talking about what you bring to the table, about talking about your skill sets. So, yes, Kim, I love that. Let me ask you a question. Roxanne said, Amen. Come on now, Roxanne. I love it. Kim, here's the first question that I have for you is when you look at your clients, what is one misnomer? What's one myth that they come to the table with? And then how do you knock that right out of the park?
My clients all come to us with successful businesses that have only grown via word of mouth and referral. And so, in order to 10x their business, the only thing that they know how to do is to work more hours. And they're at the point where they don't have any hours left. They're exhausted. They're getting burnt out. They're thinking even about their funeral someday, and they don't like what their kids are going to say about them. Like they weren't present as they wanted to be, and they didn't reach a level of success that they wanted. And this is frustrating. They've spent some money on marketing, and it hasn't produced the results that they want. So they come to me believing that marketing doesn't work for them. They are someone that needs to be in one-on-one conversations in order to sell. And they also have a belief that if they don't provide one-on-one services, that their business won't grow and their clients will leave them. And so that's what they believe coming to us in pain. They're in deep pain, and they also are not having the impact on the world that they could have if they start to scale their business. And that's what they believe. They also believe that because they're not good at tech, because they're not good at marketing, they shouldn't be doing it. And it's so interesting, right? Because I am not a heart surgeon, yet if I needed heart surgery, I would get it done. I just wouldn't be the one to do it. So what they fail to realize, for some reason in our businesses, we think we're supposed to do all the things, that you don't have to do all the things in order for your business to grow. You actually can have people do things for you that get you to the finish line much faster.
Love that. Delegate and disappear, as Emmanuel A. Walker would say. And sometimes when, to your point, we don't give it to someone else, we might think that we're the only person who can do it. But as a small business owner, I know that I can't. So my next question comes to you is, do you remember back before you had multiple businesses, before you had success, when you were first starting out, when was the time or one time when you had to say, okay, I got to delegate this out if I'm trying to scale this thing?
It was from the very beginning because I started my company working a full-time job. I did my consulting evenings, weekends, lunch breaks in the car. I would set up all client appointments at 12, 12:30, 1 or 1:30 because I could take my lunch break then. And I would operate in that way. So I had to start right away. And for me, it was actually getting takeout, which sounds like, what? Well, that was the first thing that I could outsource, was making dinner. I could generate more revenue working and or spending time with my family than I could making supper. So that was the first thing. And I think people think about, like, when they think of outsourcing and delegating, as it has to be hiring the VA or bringing on a marketing team or whatever it might be. But you actually can look at the things you're doing in your personal life. Could you have somebody once a week come clean your house. So you're not spending time doing that anymore. So now you have more time for your family and more time for your business. There's actually small things. Could you have somebody come to your driveway and wash your car for you versus you having to go get it done or doing it yourself? Are there other places in your life that these small incremental changes would give you more bandwidth? And then as you start to have things done for you, there's a great website called Fancy Hands. $17 a month. You can start having tasks done for you. My first thing that I started to have done for me was somebody else booking my prospect appointments for me and confirming that the person would be there, because I only had half an hour to be on a call. I had an hour lunch break. I had to go set up, and I knew that time was so valuable. If they didn't show up, I then had to block them, weeks later. So that time was so valuable. So I used my Fancy Hands appointment time to book the call with a prospect and confirm that they were going to show up. That set me up as the authority, an expert, and it made sure that I didn't waste that lunchtime hour to get on those calls.
Oh, so good. So good. What is so interesting, because the acronym that I chose today is POWER. POWER. And it's really about this powerful professional that you're helping us to become. But that P is about pausing and feeling the power in it. And far too often we're going, and we rarely pause, particularly women, right? We're just so nurturing, right? Feel the power in your pause. But that O is outsourcing. How did you grab it? I tell you, because delegating and disappearing. And I love that you allow folks to really think about, well, what is it in my life that is causing, like, what am I spending these extra tasks on? And not even thinking about marketing, sales, et cetera, et cetera. No, what's the easy stuff? And I remember, Kim, just a quick story. I remember one of my financial advisors 2 advisors ago said to me, she was going through my finances and she said, "Is this housekeeper a need or a want?" And I said, "Oh, it's an absolute need. Absolutely, it's a need." And she challenged that. And to your point, I remember saying to her, "It is a need. I know that there's a convenience fee to the things that I know that I absolutely need to do." So I'm so excited that she decided to say that. Ah, so good. All right. Here's the next question.
But also, by the way, how dare her question that? But let's go back on that. Because would she have said that if you were a dude?
I know. Probably not. I know. Right? The things we kind of just, and let's talk about that for a minute, because there's some things sometimes as women, especially as power women, that we hear and we just kind of brush off because we're like, yeah. But no, when you really think about it, to your point, you're like, I mean, really? Maybe you should get one and you could feel what I'm feeling in this moment.
Oh, I actually leverage that a bit whenever I hear from others, like I'm away on a trip, I'm going to speak somewhere, I'm on the plane. Oh, I could never leave my kids at home. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. My husband never hears that.
That's good.
Response. I don't say anything back to that. I don't need to justify. I just want them to start questioning the way that they speak to other women. That's all.
Yes.
And you don't hear
What do you think?
guys, just from women. Yeah. So just make you think a little bit. You can have your own opinions. I just want you to know that's something that he doesn't hear.
Absolutely. Ooh, so good, right? That's now for everybody listening in and who's listening to the streaming or the replay. I want you to hear this, right? What we're talking about is challenging yourself. That's the coaching piece. Remember, the coaching piece is all about challenging your thinking so that you can walk, talk, and behave differently. And sometimes we don't pause that P long enough to challenge our thinking. Grab these nuggets. They're really good. Love them. Grab them up. Kim, when you think about, oh, no, here's a good one. You are all about powerful professionals. How are we making ourselves powerful? How would you define a powerful professional?
Someone who sets up their business and life based first on their non-negotiables and really doesn't negotiate upon them. So in our world, so the people who I coach are coaches and consultants, people who have clients. It could be a marketing agency, accounting agency, a law firm, any of those things. So I want you to think about in that context. And there's this overwhelming belief that they should be available. And in fact, I used to be so proud of this. Clients will get back to you within 60 minutes of you contacting us. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's awful. That is an awful way to operate your business. And it doesn't need to be that way. So setting up a non-negotiable, we respond Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. We do not respond on the evenings or weekends. That means you actually cannot respond on the evenings and weekends. So if you get that client email that you're like, ooh, I want to respond, you can write it, but then you've got to schedule it to show up Monday morning when your set hours are that you should be supposed to be working. I will get messages from clients over the weekends, and they will always lead it by saying, I know you won't get back to me until next week. They know, they're okay with it. And I teach them that's exactly what I want you to do. We have off Fridays all summer. My team loves it. I have a lot of team that has young kids at home. They love the fact that the summers are free to do with their children what they want. We will not work with any client that we're not willing to be a customer of, donate to, or vote for. If you don't match that, we won't take you on. So I'm never going to work with cheap jerk faces, which that's great. And then we also set our time expectations. You can't just get on the phone with me. You can't call. You have to book an appointment. What all of those things do is it creates a value and an interest in who you are, because busy people are not available. Successful people are not available. They have to have some time constraints. So right now, this is an immediate one to do. If a prospect is interested in your services, do not send them a link to Calendly that shows 57 different open time slots that you can fill. And do not give them an appointment availability that is any earlier than 48 hours out. Busy people are busy. They're not available, and they don't have an endless plethora of times that they can meet. You give 3 times via an email. Better if it's not you, it's that assistant we're paying for just a few hours a month. Get them to book the call, and it better be at least 48 hours out. Before the call, you give them the questions that you're going to be asking on the call, so they know exactly what you're going to be talking about. And they also know from the very start, you're the one who's leading the conversation, not them. This is putting you in a position of power from the very beginning, and attracts the right fit clients that are ready to take your lead.
Oh my goodness. Did y'all hear that? I hope you guys heard that and will leverage it. 48 hours. Make it happen. Don't make it happen before. Make it happen there, because busy people are very busy. And you are busy. Here's the thing. You are busy. That is the thing. You are busy. And sometimes when we try to put it in the 24 hours or 48 hours, what happens is that we're scrambling and we're moving and we're not even focused. So that gives you preparedness time too. Listen, I was just typing out the power acronym so we could keep it in mind as we continue forward, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Really, the coaching and then a cocktails piece about this podcast is really celebrating the greatness of who folks are when they are here, right, when they decide to show up. So this P was about pause and feel the power in it. The O was about outsourcing, and we talked about that outsourcing so that you can become or act in the powerful professional that you are. Because don't forget, we're talking about how we are helping people to become this power professional, and you're just dropping so many gems. I love it. And then the W was about wait for your pace, right? You set the pace. And sometimes we get caught up when other people call and you have this expectation in your mind about how important they are, how much money they have. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to say yes. But what if you remember that you set the pace? What if you remember that it's okay to say, you know what, I hear you. Let me process that. And I can't wait to get back to you in 48 hours. See what I did there, Kim? I'm trying to pick it all up. The E is about expecting boundaries. Expect to set boundaries and expect to respect your boundaries as well. The R was about remembering your strengths, and how about I fix that error right there and leverage them, right? Power. So what do you think about those, Kim?
I love it. I think that's right on point. It makes a lot of sense. And it's what you're doing too is you put these boundaries first, like that. You actually have to get that first. And we've all seen that example a million times, that the big rocks go in first, then you do the little rocks, the pebbles, and the sand and the water, and that's how you get it all. And you have to make the boundary first, because if that's not the clear expectation, we call that an upfront contract, then you're having to scramble on the back end. Can you change it on the back end? You can. It's a lot harder. But if people come to you from the very beginning, You tell them, like, for example, I don't do any proposals. I had a call. Our top tier of coaching is $40,000 a year. They don't get a proposal. There's nothing with a logo that's coming your way after we have a sales call. I will say, hey, after this call, I'm going to send you an email. It's going to recap what we had a conversation about and a link to sign up. Any questions? That's it. Like and so I'm telling them up front what's going to happen next. They're not questioning it. They're not guessing about it. And so you just are super clear and like, oh, okay. They totally will agree. I think we get in our head so much fear of how people are going to respond. We're so nervous to do it. But when you do it the first time, like we have this challenge inside our coaching called Add a Zero. And it's about add a zero into the rate you normally tell them and see what the response is. It's the Add a Zero challenge. And like, they always get, okay. And they're like, so the only thing they think is, I should have done this earlier. Like, yes, you should have done it earlier. You didn't, but now you did. And now we're going to move forward. Like, so stop worrying about the response that you're going to get. Instead, focus on the outcome, what you want it to look like, and then do something right now that will help you go towards that outcome.
Oh, love that. Love that. As you were talking, one of the things I was thinking about is, what do you say to the power professional that's looking at this right now or listening to it or watching the replay, and they're saying, okay, you guys are pumping me up. I'm ready, but I'm feeling a little imposterish. I'm feeling like I'm not ready to really leap yet. Now, what I said is that R is about remembering your strengths and leveraging them. Remember that you come to the table with this greatness. But what would you add on to that, Kim, for that person that is fearful inside and they know that there's something there, but they're not yet ready to leap? What would you say?
Remember that your gifts are not actually yours. They came from your creator. And so by you valuing them, you're not valuing anything out of ego. You're valuing out of gratitude. And so, and when we value strengths that we've been given to us as gifts with gratitude, then we say, oh, they're from my creator. Now, if I'm going to really have that gratitude and thankfulness, I need to value them high enough, and I deserve to be paid for them. And there's this line in this ancient book of wisdom that I read daily that says, now to the one who works, his wages are not counted as gift, but his due, in Romans 4:14. And so we were created with purpose on purpose, and we deserve to be paid for it. And then those gifts that we receive are able to be turned around and be multiplied in incredible blessings. But we cannot serve our market. You cannot serve people. You cannot make an impact on the world. You cannot really amplify the gifts you've been given unless you have enough resources coming in to take care of you, your family, and bring team in to support you. If you are standing upon the pious thought that you not charging is actually serving the world, you are actually making a decision out of fear and not out of mission. Mission will bring you towards charging the top dollar, because not only will that allow you to multiply your message and mission, but it also will give the person you are serving the greatest chance of success, because the more they pay attention and the more action that they take. So when you charge, you are serving the world.
The more you pay, the more they pay attention. Come on now. Yes. Grab not only these words, but the actions that we're talking about right here today. Today on Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, it's really all about how to become this renewed power professional. And now let's lean into the second part, a power professional in marketing and sales. And you've already talked about some of that there, but let's talk to the person who is a small business owner, and they're saying, the one thing that I hate is trying to be pushy and grab money out of people. Oh my goodness, I don't like it. I don't like to do it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, and it makes me feel like this old adage of a car salesman. What do you say to them?
So you can get to the point of giving so much value that you never have to ask for the sale, and yet you have people lining up wanting to buy from you. I want you to get to the point, though, that you see the sale as absolute service, serve hard, sell easy, because when you give them a chance to work with you more, you're really lifting them up and serving you. But I don't sell hard. I don't have to sell hard. I'm able to offer things out of service. So we follow a philosophy called the mom model, because mom and you knows best. So M, you're going to be a magnet for your perfect prospects who have a need for the thing you offer. O, you get them to opt in, giving them a gift of value. So now I attracted you to me and I gave you complete value before I sell anything. The final M is monetize. Once you've come in, you're the right fit, you've given you a gift, then you have value, then I can tell you how we might want to work together. And so it doesn't ever have to come across like I'm standing in a kiosk in the center of the mall trying to put a head scratcher on your head. I really am glad that with COVID, that seems to have gone away, because those were creepy and none of us liked it. But we don't have to feel that way. And we're not that way. We're actually saying, if you have this need, then this is the solution. And I would love to provide. It's very prescriptive. We don't feel like we're being sold to when we go to the doctor's office with a sore throat and he gives us a prescription for something that will help solve it. We feel like, I came to you with a problem, you're giving me a solution. That's how our selling should be. Those who have that problem, you bring them solutions that can help them to get them on the other side of what success looks like.
I love that. I love that. And it's really about showing up as the professional you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doubt and fear and anxiety and stress is all tapped up inside of you, and you forget that, wait a minute, I come to the table with all of this value, right? The doctor that you're going to see, yes, they need to be confident. They need to have done this thing before. They need to show up confidently. And that's why you can trust them and then spend your money with them. So yay, power professionals, you are out there and you are getting fed today. All right, now it's time for what I call the come as you are round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This is where I am going to just throw some questions at you. We always do it right here on Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, and just answer whatever first comes to mind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The first is, now we did talk about a strength early on, but I'd love for you to think about a strength that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you have today, but you didn't always recognize that it was a strength. What is it?
Making complicated things easy so that I can explain them to others in a way that makes sense.
Oh, you didn't think you could always do that, huh?
I didn't know that was a thing that I had. I just knew that's how my brain works, that I take something complicated and make it easy. And then I found out with the people that I serve, they've been really frustrated that marketing has seemed really hard. And I'm able to break it down and make it super simple so they can finally do it and have success. And I love it.
So good. Okay. What is one barrier that still stands before you today?
Time. There's so much that I want to do to impact the world, myself, my family, and I'm always making choices over what the priorities are for today. And I don't regret any of the choices I've made, nor do I ever feel do I ever feel busy. But if you told me all of a sudden God was gifting me with an extra month of time, I know exactly how I would fill it.
Okay. Why is the work that you do in the world so important?
There are families who are suffering right now because they don't know how for the entrepreneur to scale his business. He was doing beautiful work for amazing people, but he's at the point of depression and even potentially taking his own life because he feels like a failure. And not one life should ever be lost because an entrepreneur suffered in silence. And so my job is to get my message out to as many humans as possible, as fast as possible, so they can find out you're not broken. You haven't been doing anything wrong. You just didn't have the blueprint that works, and we're here to help.
What is one thing that you would tell a professional today that is listening in to help to make them more powerful?
You have value and you deserve to be paid for it. And there's someone in the world right now that is waiting for your message. So put your comfort, make it less important than your impact, and start telling more people your story.
Where should we expect to see Kim Walsh Phillips 5 years from now?
Oh, honey, we're going to be on a big screen. I'm sure about it. Telling the world about how you can do the things we're working on, and it's coming.
Yes, I absolutely love it. For all of the folks who have tuned in today for Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, I simply want to say thank you. Listen, you already know you need to go ahead and rewind, not only to get the power of POWER, but really to hear all of these nuggets that Kim Walsh Phillips she went ahead and just dropped them right there for you. It's about doing the work. It's about showing up in all of your greatness. It's about getting to sell because you know exactly who the hell you are when you show up. And if you don't, that's work that you need to step back and lean into. Ask some other people what your strengths are, right? And then this goes to this question right here. Kim Walsh Phillips, how do people know that it's time to get in touch with you?
I would love to be a resource at any stage you are inside your business. You can look my name up on whatever social media platform you are most comfortable with. That's why I have 3 names. because it can be found very easily. Kim Walsh Phillips. And so I'm here for you as a resource, and I'd love to connect.
Absolutely. So Kim Walsh Phillips, make sure you connect. If you need help with marketing, if you need help with sales, if you need help with leaning all the way into yourself so that people understand what you are bringing to the table, then guess who's here? Kim Walsh Phillips. I am so glad that you said yes to coaching, cocktails, and conversations. I'm so excited that you were here. And to my audience, what I want to tell you is if you are not already tapped in, make sure you tap in. And then I also want to tell you that it is the greatness of who you are that allow you to be here today. So don't forget to head on over to lolitawalker.com. I cannot wait to lean in with you. And then we leave a cheers here, Kim. We leave a cheers. So what is a cheers? A cheers is where we leave a nugget or two with the folks that are here that they can take on their journey. Now, you've already left a lot of them, okay? But I will give you an example and then I'll come right over to you. I want to leave a cheers to every single person that is listening in today. I want to leave a cheers because you are a powerful professional. I want to leave a cheers to you for knowing, for believing, and for trusting the foundation that you stand upon and for getting to work and making sure that your brand, called you, is being seen and heard by the world. Cheers. You got a cheers, Kim?
I do. This cheers is to you for reaching those that have been waiting for you, because you have a story that only they can hear and only the way you can tell it. Cheers to you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, everybody. Kim, is there anything else you want to leave before we get out of here and let them have their day?
Of course, you're wonderful and fabulous, and everybody should not only be commenting right now, but sharing it. Share this video. Tell your friends. Think of one person right now that needed to hear this message and share it with them this second and say, you've got to watch this, because the Leader Walker brings the fire every single time with the gift of service. And this is an incredible interview. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, you guys. See you next time. Make sure you listen in. Also, forward, do all of the things, coaching, cocktails, and conversations. Okay.